Yeah,
I don't
actually,
know what you forgot to do, but we're live with it anyway.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Uh, what is this? Wednesday night? Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And Wednesday night live stream. Nobody's in the chat yet, but I'll go ahead and make the do the preliminary welcomes and people who see this on the replay. Welcome. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. My PayPal will be somewhere in the chat below if anybody comes in. And tonight we've got a lot to talk about. Um, I'd like to sort of hem haw around here for a minute, and if we can just chit chat about anything, because I'm not going to go into depth until we start getting people in here. I don't know of anybody that's going live right now.
you're not even lit up, Bobby.
See, that's what I'm saying.
You're
It's
not
not
even
even lit up.
You're
It's not even going out.
All it shows is the Patriot Hour and Normal American out of the ones that I have. You're not even
Really?
up.
All right. Well, let me check mine, and it says we're live.
Check here.
You're
It
not.
says we're live.
You're not
Check
showing
mine.
any.
Yep, and there's nobody in the chat there either, so that's okay.
Check mine.
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Not showing for me.
It's showing for me, but it's showing nobody in the chat. And you know, there may be people in the chat, but they're just not letting us see it. Maybe
Yeah,
this.
that's true.
There's. Whoops. There we go. We got 3 in there all of a sudden. Rob Call. Okay. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hey,
So we
Rob.
do have some people coming in. They're just dragging. I'm sure the notice went out late. It always does. Okay, Scarecrow's in here, and the grateful Grandma Patty. Thank you, Patty, for being here, and you too, Scarecrow, defending the faith. Thank you, guys. Keep coming in, and we'll get a couple more in here. You know, while we're waiting for some people to get in here, I'll just remind those of you here and those that'll be watching the replay on this that I'll be alive again Friday night. And Friday night, I want to have John back on Fight and Defend. We've got a really good working relationship going here, and I think it's a good thing with the information that we're bringing you. But I want to bring in Sam Reports Friday night to join us, and she's agreed to that. So Friday night, it will be John and I Fight and Defend, and Sam Reports coming to you at 8 o'clock on Friday night. Sunday morning, 11 a.m., I have a Bible study, chapter by chapter, verse by verse, through the Old Testament. And Sunday night, I have a Bible story, no scripture, just a story. So if you have time, join me on Sunday night at 8 p.m. And then, of course, like tonight, Wednesday night, we go live every Wednesday night, or I do, at 8 p.m. So sometimes it takes a little while for people to gather in here, but we're going to go ahead and get started because we don't want to waste a whole hour of me just running my mouth. You know, there's we got a lot to talk about actually, but we're going to start off with something that's a little closer to home for Charity to make sure that she gets a chance to speak tonight, because me and John sometimes we get carried away and don't know when to shut up. So we wanted to give her the first shot. And I wanted to talk about the United States Navy ship Comfort, who I knew was in New York Harbor, but now it seems to be steaming up the Hudson River. Did you say?
Yeah, I didn't even know it. I didn't even know this happened because today I wasn't really as in tune with the latest news as I usually am. But I talked to my parents, and they told me that it was up at the Hudson over by what's it called? Terrytown, Terrytown, I believe.
Okay.
Called. And I was like, oh my gosh, what would it be doing on the Hudson River? But then it makes sense if that's what they're going to be using, you know, to supplement the hospitals for other people. And I guess maybe they're trying to figure out where to put it. I don't know.
Yeah, because the hotspot, as I understand it, is New Rochelle. Is that right?
The what? I'm sorry.
The hotspot.
The hotspot. Right now they're saying New Rochelle was, yeah, but I guess it's, you know, become massively in Westchester as a whole.
Okay. The whole Westchester County.
I'm going to take a drive tomorrow and see if I could spot it.
Makes sense. Yeah,
Take some
from
videos.
my understanding, it's a 1,000-bed medical ship,
Mm.
but it's not set up for disease. It's like all military medical installations and operations are all set up for trauma mainly. So they're not really set up for disease. And the biggest problem is they don't have anybody to man these ships. They have the Navy to operate them, but they don't have the medical staff to man them.
Well, that makes sense for why they had put all of these messages and text, blasts out asking for people to come forward if you have any kind of medical that you could bring to the table, whether retired or.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did that the other day. So now it makes sense as to why.
So they're canvassing.
Now is your time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And tweeted and everything.
Wow. So they're trying to find people to man these ships.
Yeah, now that seems definitely, I think that's what it would be for. Yeah.
It would make sense.
My concern is for what? Because we know there's not enough ventilators. We know, I don't want to go on a tangent in case you're getting to this later, but
no, you go right ahead. That's a good topic right now. Go ahead.
With me.
Have at it.
Have at it.
Not sitting very well with me at all, knowing what I know from, a very close person that's a critical care nurse. The treatments are home antiviral possibilities, oxygen, and that's it. Otherwise, you're intubated, and being intubated requires a 24-hour specially trained nurse and that infectious disease regulator.
As a paramedic, I worked in a little hospital in Alabama, and I worked surgical intensive care, but I did side work, extra duty on private cases. And I was with a lot of patients who were intubated. That's why I was there, because somebody there with the knowledge of intubation had to be there. And being a cardiac technician, I'd intubated quite a few people myself, and when I was working for the ambulance business. But being intubated is not an easy thing, and it's not a cheap thing.
Not at all.
Oh, those ventilators
requires
are
so much care.
Yeah, you gotta. And the ventilators are very expensive, and there's a shortage of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? Are they ordering more ventilators?
So how do you train people to understand, from what I was being told by this person that, I see quite often since I was a child, you have to know how to use the machines. There's a lot of horrible things that can go wrong if you are not skilled.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
being intubated is nothing compared to the ventilator itself.
Mm-hmm.
And a ventilator is there for two reasons. It's either there to breathe for you or to assist your breathing. So if you can breathe a normal of, say 12 to 15 breaths a minute on your own, you may not need a ventilator.
Mm-hmm.
So the people they're putting on ventilators are people who, if they didn't get put on the ventilators, would die.
Oh yeah, I know they take the blood oxygen level right away. That's one of the things they're using to determine.
Okay, my question to you is this: how old are these people?
The ones that I don't know anybody at this time that's actually young. Not saying there isn't, but I do know that there's quite a few people that are in their 40s and 50s, 60s.
Well, I read today that in Italy, for instance, the normal age of people who are dying is 81 years old. Oh
yeah. And she told me they've had a talk where they're coming to the table of when certain people are no longer going to be viable. And they're right about there by probably tomorrow. They're literally almost at max capacity, just as because of the regular everyday stuff and surgeries and certain things where you have to be after for a certain amount of time,
Yeah, well, they got to clear the hospitals because they're already clearing the surgical dockets, as well as the dockets in these jails and prisons. And we can talk about that next. If you have any information on that, Charity, then we'll go to John, because I know he's got an earful.
Oh yeah. Well, my biggest thing is that I have a family member that's been a correctional officer. I have one retired, one that's current for Rikers Island. Nobody's okay with anybody being released under the precedence of what they're saying they're being released for at all that I've met or talked to. or do they understand what the point of it would be at all? And I did find out also that Weinstein was transferred to Rikers on Monday.
Yes, I heard that. Is he going
I
to be
mean,
released?
I can't understand why they would transfer him there. I mean, he's not a violent offender in their mind.
Well, they're also saying that uh,
He should be in Gitmo.
Rikers prisoners, people that are in Rikers prison, have dug mass graves larger than 2 football fields. So they're usually utilizing some of Rikers prisoners. But my question was, are they going to open the doors and let everybody go, or is there going to be a cutoff?
Sounds like a lot of places are letting most people go, and possibly certain Hannibal Lecter-ish types might be transferred to one central place.
Well, let's put it this way. Philadelphia today, they said no arrest for crimes during the virus. No arrest.
Yeah, certain
People
crimes.
can go in and loot and rob right in front of cameras and everything.
Well, pretty much, because it says, the article I was reading told me it was no arrest at all because they're emptying the jails. I don't know why they're emptying the jails. It makes no sense to me. It seems to me like a prison or a jail cell would be the safest place during the pandemic.
Where else are they going to go? That's why I can't wait to hear what Fight and Defend thinks, because I don't understand. There's no logic. Just like with the rehabs, they're letting people out of the rehabs.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say that. That's part of it. That's part of it. Yeah.
And in LA, out of the group they just let go, they just let it go, a bunch of pedophiles.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, go.
Yeah.
So, one thing on that is, if you look, all the areas where the jails.
Hey, Rye Girl, I hadn't seen you in a long time. Good to see you.
Where the jails are letting the people go are all your Democratic states, your blue states. It's almost like they want to cause chaos so people rise up.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no reason. Iran did it. We know that they let out 70,000, and now they just let out 85,000 of the most violent inmates. They just released.
That's 75,000.
It's absurd, and they're saying it's because they don't want them to catch this. How does that make any rational sense?
Well, ironically, the 85,000 that they just let go, they're all infected with it. They admitted it.
Oh, well, de Blasio said that yesterday in the press conference when he said about New York, the 48-hour lockdown.
Yeah.
He also said, all New Yorkers have come in contact with or have had, which I do believe in a certain sense. So then, yeah, it would be all over the prisons too, based off of what he said.
Yeah, so why let them go? So to me, that's telling me they want chaos, and they're going to get chaos.
That's right. Amen, Rye Girl. Thank you so much. I agree with you 100%. She's saying hey to you, Charity.
Hi. Can see the chat.
So think about that. They're going to get more than they bargained for if they're not careful.
Yeah, I think this release of prisoners is the wrong thing to do. I really do.
Asinine.
When people get scared, they get desperate. All right, and desperate people do desperate things.
That's right.
Yep.
We're basically like animals. All right, I'm telling you, somebody comes to the door that I don't know, and they're looking for trouble. They're going to get it, and I'm not saying to be a tough guy or nothing. I'm saying it because I am protecting what is mine.
I agree, 100%.
Plain and simple. This is going to get crazy. It really is. When they let all these people out and these pedophiles and stuff out, like Charity said, where are they going to go? A lot of them.
What are they going to do? Take them to the local mall and drop them off?
That's what I mean. Where are they going?
Well, I mean, it doesn't. The malls are going to be closed.
Well, I know.
Everything
I'm just saying.
That's what I mean. Where are they going? How are they going to have food? How are they going to have anything when you shut everything down anyway?
You just hit on
everything's shut down. Everybody's hunkering down.
Yep.
Now, where are they going? I agree.
Well,
where?
It's not even where they're going. What are they going to eat?
Yeah. Where?
They're going to go for food. Where are they going to go?
They're going to be like animals.
Absolutely.
They're going to
Absolutely.
be like the animals they are, and they should have not have been let out of their pens.
Yeah.
That's why they're there. You know, people
Well,
get sent to prison for a reason.
Yeah.
John, you know that better than anybody.
Oh yeah.
I noticed a lot of stores boxing things up yesterday too.
Yeah.
The Best Buy and stuff, they're boxing them up and taking them out of the store.
One thing I will say, people, is we have to remember who did this to us and never forget it. All right. It's to the point now. Trump met with the American Truckers Association last night. They are going to be doing military escort with the truckers from the warehouse to the stores with food because they're concerned about the trucks being hijacked.
Sure.
They're also warning people now when you go to the store to be careful because apparently people are starting to get mugged.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
apparently,
And
yeah. It's everywhere.
Now, they were saying that in certain countries, it's been known in the past when they were in this situation where the people would hide under the car and then cut you as you were loading stuff in your car, causing you to drop. They cut your Achilles.
Yeah. So you couldn't chase them.
So it's getting serious. You know, it's to the point where when people go out, everybody's going to be armed. I'm telling you, and I've said it before, they can make all the laws that they want soon. Nobody's going to abide by them. So listen, I like Trump. I agree with Trump, but it's put up or shut up time.
Yeah.
That's it. The game has been going on. Enough of the snickers, enough of the smiles, enough of this. Well, maybe it's the calm before the storm. You start coming up with answers or the people will come up with them for you.
Well, he's got to be able to do something to make sure somehow certain people are not let out of prison, I would suspect. I mean, there's got to be something. Or is it all state run?
It's all state.
Oh God.
It's all state. And some of these states are saying, like California said, it's just temporary. They're going to return when the coronavirus is passed.
Yeah, they're going to give them a get out of jail free card.
Oh,
and after the thing's over, you got to come back.
They said that here, but they didn't say they would definitely be making them come back.
Well, they didn't say they were making them. They said they were told to come back.
Yeah.
Just like the ones on the border who cross illegal looking for asylum, and they say, okay, you're going to court in 3 years here. Here's your paperwork. See you in 3 years, and you never see them again. Same thing.
Now, think about this, people. They want us locked down in our houses. They don't want us going to work. They don't want us doing anything for our own safety. Yeah. But then they're letting killers out of prison. Think about this. They're telling us how to live our lives, yet they're letting people out of prison.
Yeah. The likes of pedophiles and worse.
Does that make any sense to you? Why should we obey what they're saying? For what reason? Think about it. They're letting out the enemy and they're telling us to obey.
Well,
that's like having a robber at your door and telling your dog to heel.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Think about that. They're telling us to obey, yet they're letting these people out. Not in my world.
They're not going to obey anything.
Ain't happening. Ain't happening. People need to start making their stands, and now.
You better make your stand wherever you're going to stand at.
Yeah. They're doing their thing. They say they're doing their thing. I believe they're doing their thing. But you know what? Stop keeping us in the dark. Treat us like adults, not kids. We're your voting booth. I mean, we're your group. You don't start informing us, we'll get rid of you too.
Definitely.
Start giving us answers and be honest with us.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, I don't think the answers are far away. I really don't.
Nope.
I think that sometime between now and the middle of April, we're going to have a lot of answers. Hopefully they're the ones we're looking for, but there's no guarantee. So, but I think by April, if we just be patient, we've been sitting here for months waiting for something to happen. Well, things are happening that have never happened before in the history of America.
Correct.
I mean, we are witnessing history here. And so let's just sit back, take a deep breath, get your computer out, dig. I want you to talk about Google in a minute there, John. So just keep that in your head. But that's what we have to do. We just have to abide.
Yeah.
Stay home if you're told to stay home. If you get a curfew, be home before the curfew. And that's how they're going to manage a lot of these people, is because these people aren't going to abide by curfews. And I think that we're looking at curfews sometime in the next month and a half month.
Oh,
I think we're looking at. I think
we'll be on lockdown in a day or two.
No,
I think it's full-fledged martial law
Just
coming.
watch where it goes first, and then you'll know when it's coming and be able to take a look at it.
We're already under a time of war.
Mhm.
It's not that much of a strain to think that we may not accidentally, but evidently get into under martial law for a short period of time. I don't think it'll last long, just long enough to clean house.
It's not going to last long.
I pray that happens.
Well, it's not going to last long because the people are not going to put up with it.
No, we won't take it too long. So they got to drain that swamp quick.
Right. But in the meantime, they need to let us know something is happening. Don't keep us in the dark. When I used to be involved in big raids, we'd at least say we were making arrests and there's more to follow.
Yeah.
You don't have to go into detail. Just say we're making arrests and there's more to follow. When you say nothing, people start questioning.
Sure.
Well, that's what's happening. Exactly. It is. I am.
Yeah. And I know you're a big Trump supporter. Well,
I
we
am.
all are. We all are, or were, have been, still are.
But what I'm seeing happening, and how I know we're going to be on lockdown and all this insanity, and then you're letting prisoners out, you're giving drug addicts nowhere to go to get clean.
Yeah.
You know, where I work, I see it, it's like, what are you doing? Give us something to hang on to hope, because otherwise we wouldn't be putting up with this. We'd all be standing out there screaming from the rooftops, not letting them out.
Right.
You know what?
I would risk the virus to do that, even since de Blasio said we all caught it anyway here in New York.
I would not be at this state right now.
That sounds like lockdown coming.
Oh, they said so. Yeah, that's confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I told you that I found earlier. I would not be at this state right now if they weren't letting people out of prison.
Exactly.
That just threw a complete curveball into this whole thing. Completely.
And it's all these Democrats states that are doing this.
Yes.
But even the Fed's talking about it.
Yeah. And you know what? They're going to get their own people hurt, and it's going to be costly in the end.
The Feds did say, I read that the Feds did say it would only be non-violent criminals. But now the states aren't saying that.
Look at California. You can look it up right now.
Yeah.
Look up California, who they're releasing. Illegals, pedophiles.
Pedophiles.
Yeah. See, the problem is I've been on the inside, and I don't have a lot of faith in the system. That's why I left the system, because it doesn't work. And they will blow so much sunshine up your backside, you'll need sunglasses at night, just to make you think that they're all it, and they're not.
Well, think about it like this. The last time there was martial law instituted by anybody, it was in the city of New Orleans.
Yeah.
During Katrina. They went door to door during the flood of Katrina and confiscated weapons in New Orleans. The people never got them back.
Right.
And now they were saying the other day, well, that's not going to happen this time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right.
And what else happened with Katrina that many people don't know about when it was done?
Tell us, man.
When the floodwaters receded, they were finding bodies with bullet holes.
Bullet holes.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that's where you were going. Go ahead, Charity.
And lots of bullet holes. And then you come to find out, you do the investigation, and who was also involved with Katrina? Oh, that's right, Blackwater.
They were doing the sweeps.
Why? Why do you need mercenaries doing sweeps?
because my thinking is that they knew that there was a lot of guns in New Orleans and that the criminals wouldn't be coming out and showing themselves, so they went in to clean house.
Here's a novel idea: leave them the hell alone.
Yeah, let them kill each other.
Leave me alone. I got food. I'm protected. Leave me alone. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need your help. I never asked for it. I don't want it. Think about it. This is the problem. They think they rule you and
Yeah.
they own you. No, they don't. No, they don't. We hire you to do a job, do it, or we'll do it. So that's it.
And that's what's going to happen over time. But you know, I'm call me a doubting Thomas or the devil's advocate, whichever. But I'm on the side of caution here, and I'm usually one of the ones that jumps to the extreme right off the bat. You know, I go to the worst case scenario and look at it from that angle back. I'm going to look at it this time like I want to give Trump some time
Oh,
to
yeah.
do something. I want to give him some time. I want to support him, you know, and let's see where this goes. We may be greatly surprised sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
You just never know.
I agree. Something's definitely happening without a doubt. They're not going to put this much time and money into nothing.
No.
That's not my issue. My issue is keeping the people posted. The most transparent government. I understand there's things you have to do and you have to be cautious. I understand. But don't keep people in the dark. What are we hearing? Martial law, FEMA. Trump said today, bringing out FEMA. What's the first you think? FEMA. As soon as the word FEMA comes out, what do I think?
Concentration camps.
Well, that's what I was worried about with the ship. That's what I thought they were saying. When you guys filled me before, I was relieved.
Not only that, but we just talked about it. Katrina and them taking guns. I don't look at FEMA as a rescue. I look at them as coming and violating my rights.
Well, they stopped the ammo sales here, and you can't do anything for a couple days.
Yep. Real quick, there's a site that I'm on. It's a coin site. And anyways, one of the guys that runs it yesterday out in California went to the bank to pick up coins. The bank was closed. While he was there videotaping, he scanned the parking lot, and across the road was a strip mall and a gun store. And the people were lined up all the way down the sidewalk and the side of the building.
Yeah. They probably know what's going to happen if they don't.
Yep. And they
just have them stop selling out of nowhere.
They said today that ammo sales are up 376% today.
Wow. It's amazing.
There's a lot of us. That's a good thing.
So they may want to think about letting the people know what's going on and stop leaving them in the dark. It's as simple as that. That's all. That's all we're asking. But on a good note, and I advise people to do this, if you want to find out information, because I've had somebody asking me about where you're getting your information from, now's the time. Pete had mentioned this earlier about something's different about Google.
Yeah, you can tell.
There was a drop earlier saying that the white hats have taken control of Google. I went on. I actually was able to pull down the warrants for what's our boy? Wiener.
Oh, him.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can pull down right now that we weren't able to pull down before. About 9/11, about Wiener, about the Clinton Foundation and the children.
See, this gives me hope.
It's crazy what you can pull down today. Something major happened, that's the way that I feel. And I also was able to pull this down. And this is signed executive orders reveal Trump is planning mass arrests, military tribunals for deep state traitors like Comey, Clinton, and Obama. And ironically, as you go down that paragraph, who was also in there? Mike Pence.
Oh, I've always said that there's something funny about Pence. You know, even when they gave the Cheddar, do you remember the envelope deal at the Bush funeral?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see, Pence got an envelope as well?
And what have I been saying, Bobby? You keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't have thought too much about it if it hadn't been for the fact that everybody else that got one of those was part of the deep state. And here Trump's vice president even got one.
Well, they
So-
weren't close, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they just become more? I think he didn't meet Pence's family until they were going to be running mates.
Exactly.
Pence and the Bushes are like this.
Wow.
If you look it
A lot
up,
of
you can
sense.
find out everything you want to know about them.
Pence didn't bring that much to the table. He could have chose someone else.
Exactly. If you look in Pence's past, he was tight with the Bushes.
Well, that would be incredible to see all this unveiled. That would be really shocking for a lot of people to see.
When he was governor of Indiana, and he had the highest rate of child trafficking and abortion in the United States.
So
tells you something.
There's a lot to it. Yeah, you got to ask. I'm trying to find out more of that list. You guys can chat here. I want to find out.
So did you find anything new on Google Charity?
No, I would say it was just a lot easier to hunt for stuff.
Yeah.
Normally you have to start off, you got the different wording, and then you have to go to number like 10 to even start getting a list that isn't an ad. And I was like, oh, this is really easy.
Somebody out there, just punch up Anthony Weiner's laptop. See how quick it comes up.
That's insane. I mean, definitely, I remember looking for things before and they were not like that at all, as close as 2 days ago.
It's all
because my DuckDuckGo was giving me a problem. Now, DuckDuckGo, which I had been using, I had just said to somebody yesterday, it's not working properly for me. It's almost like it's hiding the stuff.
I'm not even going to bring this up. You don't see the chat, do you, Charity?
Mm-mm.
Well, you have a friend on there that's getting pretty rude, telling everybody to shut up and let you talk. And
who would do that?
Well, your friend. But anyway, I'm not going to bring her name into it, but she needs to stop it.
This is how we always are. We always talk to one another. This is how it is.
But anyway, someone else called her out on it, so I'm not going to. But
yes, I can't see the chat.
Okay, well, she knows who I'm talking about, and she's probably going to get mad at me. Don't know why, but I know who she is. I thought she was a friend, but evidently not.
We got to remember, people, we're all into this together.
Yeah, we don't need to troll ourselves. And Charity, if I've been walking all over you, I apologize. That was one of her accusations that I need to shut up.
No, we always talk. That's how we get our word. Yeah, this is just the way we all communicate.
I think it was me, so I don't really care. Well,
it doesn't matter. We're all in this thing together, and there's not going to be any dissent on my channel. I'm not going to allow it. We're all in this together. Thank you, Tack. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm done with it, sir.
It's just
we are. We have to be united.
It's just about getting the information out to people, man.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the truth out there. And we do. We have conversations, and we do walk on each other every now and then. But when I see somebody trying to talk, I try to shut up as quick as I can. So, Charity, do you have any other topics you'd like to talk about, or you want to go?
Not really. I mean, I learned so much on how to do this from Fight and Defend. That's why I love to listen to him.
Charity,
I do too.
Charity, I actually got a question for you. Was Weinstein brought to Rikers or brought out of Rikers?
No, they were saying he's coming to Rikers on Monday, and I don't know if he arrived yet, but I could find out.
All right, because this just came up that says that he has been transferred from Rikers Island to a state prison in Fishkill, New York, because they have a medical facility to handle Weinstein's ongoing heart ailments and other health issues.
Wow.
So
I know exactly where that is. I work there, over in that perimeter, before we were told to work from home.
Yeah.
That is really not good. They're going to let him go.
Is that a lower grade facility?
Well, yeah, very much so. If
He's
they let the people over there out, that's even more terrifying to me than anything, because
something's gonna happen to him.
he's I think he was supposed to be staying in Rikers. He got there somehow for some
He's supposed
reason.
to have been at
And by
Rikers
them shipping
Monday.
him away, he must, there's, I
Well,
don't know. We all know
normally
what's happened in the past.
Is Rikers the maximum?
Yeah, they've been wanting to close that down forever.
But it's
Rikers Island.
maximum security,
hmm
and this other one is not.
No, this is a correctional facility. I know exactly where it is with the medical center.
Wow.
more like a county jail.
Wow.
Oh wow. Well, they're letting. It seems like they took him in at Rikers, but they didn't keep him very long.
I'd be worried if I was him. I'd be really worried.
Yeah, something's up.
I don't know. He must have been squealing or something's not right. Yeah.
That makes no sense. You'd take him. Well, maybe they are going to close Rikers. This might be all part of the plan.
They want to.
Maybe.
Maybe somebody wants to make sure he doesn't get out, so maybe this is a good thing, or I don't know. Could be either way, but
it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
It makes no sense why people would let convicted prisoners out of jail. It just makes no sense to me.
Well, just the fact that going from a maximum to a lower grade system.
Yeah, I'm gonna look right now to see exactly what it is.
Yeah, because I mean they're in a maximum security prison for a reason. It just doesn't make any sense.
Where was he transferring from? I can't remember. I'm trying to look.
Oh, originally?
Yeah.
I don't remember where that was. I don't remember.
It was somewhere in New York, I'm sure.
Trying to see. I don't know. This is very bizarre. I was just trying to look to see exactly what the level and stuff is, but it says it's, I don't know. You'd have to look in the way it explains why it's such a bad known place and blah, blah, blah. Very bizarre.
That's just kind of interesting. Yeah, most prisons have an infirmary.
Oh, yeah. Don't they all?
Yeah.
Aren't they all required to have?
Especially a maximum.
And there's a lot of prisoners there. You would imagine they would have at least a clinic, hospital.
They do. That's what I'm trying to see. If maybe if it's not maximum and there's another reason that everybody says it's the worst of the worst.
Pardon me, y'all.
Yeah, something doesn't make a lot of sense.
We got the COVID virus all of a sudden.
You know what you got to see? If they're pulling people out of that fish kill facility and releasing them, because their reasoning is so they can control the coronavirus.
That's this whole prison thing has me thrown. I just don't understand it.
So Rikers, it says, consists of 10 jails, which holds local offenders while they are awaiting trial, serving sentences for 1 year or less, or temporarily placed there pending transfer.
Okay.
So, and then there's a lot of stuff about why is Rikers Island known as such a horrible place, such a dangerous prisoners, blah, blah, blah. But so I guess, and it can house up to 15,000.
Wow.
Phew.
Imagine that.
That's scary.
Imagine Rikers prison being a door, just open the cell doors, let 15,000 hardened criminals just walk out.
This is nuts.
They're looking for a Mad Max scenario for something like this. I mean, it'd be like Escape from New York.
Yeah. Something.
It makes no sense. They'll come into New York and they'll take over the city. Literally take over the city.
Is this Trump's way of saying to the people?
Oh, look. Go on. I'm sorry. I was
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Charity.
Go ahead.
So this is a headline because I'm trying to figure this out. And it says New York City officials are officially calling for release of most at risk on Rikers prison 2 hours ago as more test positive for the virus.
Holy shit. So they're testing positive and they're going to release them into society?
This is nuts. None of it makes any rational sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, oh, well, you have to have compassion on them. But what, oh, I'm so sorry. But what rationale if they're sitting there, this Department of Health and de Blasio saying all of New Yorkers have come in contact with this by now, yesterday, that's what they said.
Yep.
And what would the difference be between them having it in prison or having it outside? What's the difference?
The spread.
But they're saying it's so contagious, they're already got it there. Everybody that comes in and out, everybody that's visiting, if they're saying all of New York has already had it, do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. You're gonna let them out. They're gonna get it. They're gonna have it and get it anyway, and nobody. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
They want mayhem. I swear to God, they want mayhem.
It's awful.
They really want mayhem. They're going to get it. It ain't going to be good. And that's why I said we have to remember who did this.
Absolutely crazy.
And you see, the crazy part is different things are happening in different parts of the country. You're in New York, Charity. John, Fight and Defend is in Florida. And I'm somewhere in the middle of Georgia there. And everything different is happening in every state.
Yep.
I mean, they're releasing ours, but you can't find anything on it. They said they were going to start releasing them. I don't know if they have yet or not. But I don't know. This is the kind of stuff that makes you want to make sure that you are prepared. You know, you got to prepare for this kind of thing.
The rationale behind it, what I meant, and I was a little all over the place because it's just this gets me so disgusted, is that they're going to definitely catch it then if they are released from prison. That's what I was trying to say, based on what they're saying. So if there's only a couple with it and you can isolate them and remove them and get them wherever, that's the best place for all of these people to be then, wouldn't it? Compared to the outside where you're saying, you know, we're all like, y'all got the cooties, you know.
Just leave them where they are.
Something's not adding up.
You know?
No, because they would be safer.
And bring in a medical team if you have to. You know? Let the feds send in some military doctors or whatever they got to do to treat those people that's sick. And leave them right where they're at, quarantined. And don't let anybody in or anybody out. The staff has to stay there 24 hours. Everybody reports.
Question.
Yeah.
I wonder if they stopped the visitation for that.
God, yeah, they should have. And what they should have done, if they were using their brains, they would have called in every single guard that they have, including the part-timers. And we're saying, okay, you're now all going full-time on the clock. You'll work shifts, 24-hour shifts. And you'll maintain the prison, and then you'll bring in the military doctors, whoever you have to treat these patients, and be self-contained. You know, if they want to deliver food there so they can eat, let the cooks keep them all there. Prisoners can cook.
Somebody said they're using what happened in Katrina. They were telling me as the reason because so many people passed away, but that was a totally different circumstance. By mathematical numbers, from what they say, the prisoners right now are safer than we are where they're going to let them out.
Sure.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Well, think about this, though. I just punched in why are prisoners being released, and what comes up? Michael Cohen, Bernie Madoff, they're all asking to be released.
Sure. Bernie Madoff just, you know, ended, you know, the financial life of a lot of people. You know, he took all their money and
he caused a lot of people to kill themselves. That scumbag.
Sure, there was a lot of suicide because of him. People lost their entire life savings. I mean, people had saved forever, and he just took it from them. But yeah, so yeah, you're gonna have every John, Dick, and Harry, Tom, Dick, and Harry. I'm sorry, they're going to be wanting out. You know, they're going to be
Well, of
pleading.
course.
I don't know. I would like to see something in the news or in something saying that they're going to keep the hardened criminals, the ones that are violent and ones who are, you know, burglary, robbery, rape, murder, you know, pedophilia. I wish I could see something that says they're going to keep those people incarcerated somewhere. But
That's all I'm asking for, is to at least.
But they don't say anything, Charity.
We don't have to fear for that. That would be really helpful. You talk about nobody panicking. Well, what would you think anybody would do if they think that every level prisoner may be walking in their area?
Exactly.
You know, here's a novel thought. How many women are going to get killed because their exes, who they got restraining orders against, show up at their house and take them out?
Yeah.
Who's to blame? Think about that. They just had it down in Tennessee. The woman, they found her and him dead in the car. She had a restraining order against him. He had just been arrested for beating her, and now they're both dead.
Yep.
So
Awful.
it doesn't make any sense, people.
No, it really doesn't. And I know people get aggravated with me when I'm trying to talk about these things, but I'm like, you know, you have to think about them because they're happening, and we can't let them happen just because we're, you know, everybody's trying to social distance to protect each other from this. And I get that to a certain extent, but this is not the time to be okay without having evidence of who, what, when, where, and where are they going.
There you go. There you go.
Now, Ohio has let out 200 low risk, nonviolent so far, but they're going to be letting out more.
Does it say what they consider low risk?
Well, it'd be nonviolent, drug cases, shoplifting, nothing with force. Outstanding warrants. But that's going to change, though. They're going to be letting more out. At least they're admitting it.
Oh, I wanted to mention right quick, Charity, too. Our friend Black Matters in here, so he just popped in. So
Hi.
I know you'd want to say hi to him.
Yeah, this whole thing's just crazy.
It's not making a lot of sense.
Well, you know, anytime that you have people fighting each other with wine bottles over toilet paper, you know, I mean, come on. And people calling the cops, calling 911, I'm out of toilet paper. I mean, good Lord. Yeah. Is that what we reduced ourselves to instead of worrying about the real problem of these prisoners they're letting out in our communities?
Yeah, everybody's in a bubble and all they care about is their entitlement for their Starbucks and different necessities. There was people screaming at the guy from BJ's twice. He told me this happened twice. I witnessed it. 2 weeks ago when I went, I'd usually go once a month and get my normal supplies because I have a family of 5. Right. Screaming at him because she had a coupon for a certain brand of toilet paper. Now, we have not had a lot of toilet paper and certain things here, you know, where I am on the line of the counties in a while, you know, so it's been like probably a good 3 weeks that, you know, a month since you've seen any hand sanitizer. And she went ballistic because she wanted a specific brand of toilet paper. I thought she was going to punch him in the face. I really did. They had toilet paper left, but it was not the brand that she wanted.
Right.
You know, it was just absurd. And I said, this is what we have to deal with. This is what's going to happen. And this is exactly what is going to make people go crazy when they can't get their Starbucks. And I'm watching it now. People that can't go into the places they like to go to eat because they're just closing. They're not doing the takeout that's mandated. You know, and
talk a little bit about Best Buy and these other places like that sell, you know, electronics and stuff that's not food service.
Well, when I went to get a laptop,
everything up, right?
Yeah, I went to get a laptop last night because I said I'm not going to be stuck here without a laptop. So I said that's it. I'm going to be putting it on the credit card. So I went there and there wasn't a lot of people in there. So that was nice. You didn't have to open a door. You know, they're big doors that open for you. And they're inside with huge boxes, boxing stuff up. and they're taking it out of Best Buy. And they said they're going to be doing curbside. You know, nobody will be able to come into the store. But then he wasn't sure why they were boxing it up. And that's when later on I had heard about this 48-hour, you know, within 48-hour lockdown thing. So clearly somebody there knows it's going to happen soon, and they're pulling their product off out of the store so it's not robbed.
So it's
I mean, what other sense? Why else would you do that?
to stop looting.
Mm-hmm. Had to be.
That's what I wanted to hear, Charity. And I love it, especially coming from a woman talking the truth. And that's what we can expect. There's going to be a lot of looting anyway. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of looting.
I prefer that it goes to the stores over us, you know?
Yeah. But now that the people are being let out of prison, the looting is going to go rampant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my goodness, what are we going to do? I mean, are we just going to close everything? Box everything up?
That's what they're doing here. I mean, we're pretty much on lockdown. Everything is pretty much closed. You know, whether it's mandated or voluntary, a lot of stuff is done, you know?
Well, you know, when they tell you to shelter in place,
mm-hmm.
You know, that makes you think of around my part of the country, it makes you think of a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tornadoes come and they always say, you know, if you're such and such, it's on the way there, shelter in place, you know, find cover and all that stuff. And that's what they're saying now is shelter in place. And we don't know what we're sheltering against.
Well, that's what I agree with Fight and Defend. I hope we get a little something just to be able to, you know, the Google was big for me, certain things like that.
Yeah, it is. But
I still hope we get a little more pretty soon.
But we won't, because this, I was telling Bobby before we went on, this just came out. House Democrat leaders indefinitely postpone return to Washington. Staffers confirm that Democratic House members will indefinitely delay their scheduled March 23rd return to the Capitol due to the coronavirus. So they're not
so
going
why can't they do electronics like we all do? You know, the video and all that, and still be present.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me they don't have enough monitors.
No.
So,
yeah, it's totally crazy. But you see, it's all going to, and I have to keep saying this.
But the doctors and nurses can't stay home. Cops can't stay home. But the people we pay to represent us get to stay home.
Yeah. And what did she say? Oh, we're captains of our ship. We're going to stay till the end. No, they didn't.
Well, you remember when that ship starts sinking, you're going down with it.
Yeah, I hope they do. And I think that's what's happening. I really think that we've got a reset coming.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to reset with a lot of names missing.
I think they're running for cover in a lot of ways with all the people that have stepped down from their positions. And
yeah, they are. But, you know, and DM just brought up a good point. And this is why I'm so pissed, is because this isn't just an inconvenience of sitting at home. People are losing their jobs already. Yes. They're going to lose everything they own. And one thing I learned in law enforcement is the most dangerous man is the man that has nothing more to lose. Now, Trump just announced, he told HUD there's going to be no foreclosures until after April. Well, what the hell good is that going to do? If you're out of a pay for a month, it's going to take you a lot longer than April to get back on your feet.
Oh, yeah.
So they may want to hurry up and think about this. You know, and they're saying, well, we'll send you $1,000 check.
No, that's nothing for where most of us are located, what we pay, what our expenses are. I mean, that to me, that was crazy.
Yep, absolutely.
And that gets.
And now they're saying that maybe they'll send 2 payments. Oh, a couple of weeks apart. So maybe
well, if it's on top of a decent, you know, unemployment or whatever, that's not the unemployment they usually give you, which is a quarter of what you earn sometimes, then maybe that would be sufficient. But all this like not talking about everything is just crazy.
Yeah.
You know? We need to have a little more transparency with a lot of the stuff.
That's what I'm
'Cause
saying.
we're in the middle of buying a home. You know, we were going through all this stuff, and then we had to pull money out of the escrow to be able to get prepared for what's happening, and me not working now. And,
Yep.
you know, so I can only imagine what other people are going to deal with and go through.
Oh,
Once my husband's not working anymore, that house fund and our moving fund is gone.
Yeah.
With our expenses for everything gone. There won't be moving.
Yes, DPFX. Yes. Nasara. I will say that. He understands it. Nasara. Talking about a reset. So
yeah, I see that, Nasara.
Let's hope that's the end result.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
But
It's what
hope
we
and
have to
pray.
hope for. Yeah.
It's going to be a very, very bumpy road. You know, Bobby knows I've been through this. When I got injured, I lost everything I had.
Mm-hmm.
And it burns me to see other hardworking people start losing things.
What I'm really ticked about is the Obama. We went through this with the Obama crap in 2012. We couldn't do it anymore, and we had to sell the house that we had.
Yeah.
And we were going to buy another house, and then we're still renting because it's taken so long with all, you know, just to be able to. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this can't happen again, because he did this to us over the medical and what we had to pay for my son's medical bills.
Yeah.
And then in 2008, we had the stock market crash.
Yeah.
That was the beginning. Yeah.
I mean, I had relatives who had huge 401ks and IRAs that lost everything.
I had a neighbor at the time. Thank God I wasn't there to see this. Went outside and killed himself in the middle of the road.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of people lost their lives to
middle
that.
of the day.
And
very well-known businessman. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's Bernie Madoff asking to get out. The man that caused a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
sure enough.
But once again, think people, we right now are starting to suffer because of them. They were the ones that brought this on, and unfortunately, we're paying the price for it again.
As always.
When we get to the other side of this, we cannot get lazy and get back in their comfort zone. We need to be on these people and remind them who they work for. Otherwise, we're going to be doing this again. Well, we won't, but our kids or grandkids will be doing this again.
Yeah, and we don't want that to happen. Let's hope that this reset is just that. It is a reset. And maybe a lot of bad players are going to be gone. We all know who they are.
Yep.
Some good families are spending time together again. That's amazing.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, it's exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe this shelter in place, you know, is a good thing. Get the Bible down, you know.
Get back with family values.
Yeah, get back to family values, you know, get kids off the computer, have game night or something, you know, and because it's going to be up to you. Say you lose power and you lose the internet, your kids are going to be really, really bored.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because you can't go outside because you got a shelter in the house.
Right.
All right. So, yeah, people aren't thinking about that. And these kids are coming home from school and they need something to occupy their mind because idle hands are a devil's workshop.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean that in a mean way toward the kids, but kids do get in trouble. And so I just wanted to bring that up. You know, you as a mother, I know that you have a teenager yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so people need to be aware that if their schools are closed, these kids need some kind of outlet.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't have any kids, you know, but I mean, I can understand what it would be like because I had kids if they were sequestered to the house.
Even for me, I said, boy, this is going to be interesting without you. I don't have the internet and everything because I don't have cable. I just use the internet for everything.
Yeah, well, I've got cable, but I don't
we'll
use
survive.
it.
I mean, this is,
yeah,
you know, like I said to a friend, we're being asked to stay home where we could watch Netflix when, you know, our grandparents were called off to war.
Yeah.
So if we had to, for the right reasons, I would do it without a problem.
Well, there's not saying that there won't be battles here in America. There may be wars, maybe a small war of some kind, or maybe it'll be a large war. We don't know. We don't know what's coming.
No,
But
and
I
I
know if they
know.
let these prisoners out, we can look for the worst.
Hmm.
Charity, I'm going to give you the last word.
Sorry, I was trying to see what Donald Trump tweeted about something about the declaration bill he signed. But I guess we can't really do much but try to stay aware and alert and pay attention and really, not go crazy, not to be a hoarder, but really prepare for certain things, because this is going to happen everywhere in America. As Fight and Defend said, you can see the step by step where it goes, and don't keep your mouth shut about letting the prisoners out, because I am not okay with that.
Okay, good. And
thank
I'll
you.
keep doing that. All right, guys, thank you for being here, Charity. It's always a pleasure to have you. You always brighten up our show.
Thank you, Brent.
And Fight and Defend, as always, brother. I appreciate you and the research that you do. Friday night, Sam Reports will be joining me. So join us Friday night at 8 p.m. Sam Reports will be here, and I'm going to see if John will come back. And he and Sam are pretty tight. They talk a lot, so they got a lot of stuff in common. So I may just introduce the show and let them have it, but it'll be a good show. So y'all tune in, and I'll see you Friday night, 8 p.m. Charity, thank you so much, dear. Thank you. And John,
Take care,
thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.